Hello everyone. So this is the project that we have done for project 2 for the web programming class. We are team Pawan and Sai Rishmanjli, and the project that we have done is roll your dice with us. So this is about the game. The game basically it's a board game that can be played by two users, in which each player would actually roll the dice, and depending on what they get on it, they can actually move forward within the game. So they basically start from the top square, the bottom square, and the one who reaches the top square earlier would be the winner of the game. To make it a little different, we have also added some danger zones, hitting which some points would be lost by the user. So this is basically the UML diagram. So here are two users, and each of them would roll a dice when it's their turn. And depending on what they see on the dice, they move forward, or if they hit the danger zone, the points would be reduced. And the one that reaches the top would win. Okay, so this is how the UI looks like, the homepage of the game. And this is basically the about page. So when the user basically gives the name and email in this page and then signs up, he would see this page, the about page, and he would see the rules of the game. And this is basically the scoreboard or the game board that he would see. So here is the PHP code for it. So whenever the user basically rolls the dice, he will see a number on it. And for this particular purpose, we have used this function called throw dice. And that is basically making use of this method called rand. Rand is a pre-built or predefined method which will generate a random number. And here it took two parameters, 1 and 6. So we wanted that our dice would only have numbers from 1 to 6. So we just wanted to generate one random number within that range. For that purpose, we're using this rand with 1, 6 as parameters. So we will call this method throw dice whenever the user clicks on the roll button. So if you can see at the down, we have called the method, and then we will just print that you've got so and so score. And this is the same method that we're using for both the users. And here we have another PHP code. This is what that runs when the user basically hits any danger zone, right? So whenever he hits on the danger zone, we would just calculate what his current score is, and then we would remove 5 points from that score, and that would be the actual score for the user. So yeah, this is how we're doing this, and the game board looks something like this. This is the CSS and some other properties that we've used. So we have the usual height and width and background color, text align, all these normal properties. And if you can see, we have this pound symbol like pound danger, pound show, pound names, pound player 1, player 2. So pound, anything that starts with pound is just an indication that it's an identifier. And anything that starts with a dot, that if you can see the right side, we have about, sign up, pick. They're starting with dot. So these are basically classes, and those that are starting with pound symbol are basically the identifiers. And whatever the properties that we want to set will be set within the scope of those particular blocks. And we have also used the transform and transition methods when we hover on a peg. So like when the user, with the help of a mouse, hovers on any HTML element, we want something to happen. So all that code we will write in the hover section of that particular class. So that's where we wrote. And we also have other usual properties, CSS properties like height, position, and display, and padding, order, and all that. So if you can see here, the input, checkbox, button, all these are starting with dot, which means they're basically the classes, and we just wrote them all the properties of that class within the respective blocks. We have also used letter spacing, which will help us to give some space between the letters. So that is something that's new. And we have used different font family. It just allows us to have different types of fonts within the application. And we also use test transform. So this is the easiest way to make the entire text as either uppercase or lowercase depending upon the need. And here is just again the glimpse of our our game board. We have also tested this application in different browsers like Safari, Google Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox. And we also have the CSS validator to validate the styles and the designs. Um, so for this project, we have used the Scrum framework. Scrum is basically a framework that helps to manage the product or the project. So this is a typical definition. Scrum is a framework that helps people, teams, and organizations to generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. So it's basically it gives us the rules, roles, events, and artifacts for managing the agile projects. It's an iterative approach and it consists of sprints that typically last from 1 to 4 weeks. We'll see more of it in later slides. So these are basically the values of Scrum. So courage, first one, it just means that the Scrum team has the courage to do the right thing and at the right time for the project. And there's also focus. So everybody in the team, in the Scrum team, is focused on one thing, which is the project goal or the product goal. And then commitment. So every person in Scrum team called the Scrum member is committed towards achieving the Scrum team's goal. And we also have respect as one of the values. It just means that every Scrum member has respect towards each other's work and time. And they're all open to feedback. They just incorporate feedback as and when it comes and just improve the team. So Scrum team basically has three parts: the Scrum Master, product owner, and developers. Developers are the one who build the product, and product owner is the one who has the business idea of the product. And Scrum Master is the one who keeps the entire team together. So Scrum Master basically would be working with both the product owner and the developers and then making sure that everybody is performing the tasks correctly. And these are the Scrum events. Some of the Scrum events, so basically Sprint is nothing but a time span, which usually lasts from 1 to 4 weeks. Typically 2 weeks, but it can be anywhere between 1 and 4. And Scrum sprint planning. So before the sprint starts, the entire Scrum team sits together and plans their work. Like the product owner will help them prioritize the work and they will just sit and discuss what they're going to work on for the upcoming sprint. And there would be daily scrum. So there would be this scrum meeting every single day throughout the sprint in which all the people of the team come together and discuss what they are working on and what they plan to work for the next day. And they also discuss if they have any issues or if they're running into any trouble so that the other people on the team can help them. So this happens throughout the sprint, and by the end of the sprint, there are these sprint review / retrospective meetings in which people would discuss how the sprint went. Like, what are the things that went well? What are the things that went bad and that they could improve on? That's a great way to improve their work. And these are some of the benefits of the Scrum. So it helps with quicker release, higher quality, great productivity, and low cost, and greater ability to incorporate changes and better user satisfaction. And why does Scrum work? While there are many benefits of for why Scrum works, these are the important ones. So with Scrum, work is done in the development team simultaneously rather than sequentially. So the programmers can go ahead and code and do not wait until all the questions are answered and everything is crystal clear before they start the program. So everything is simultaneous. Things happen together instead of happening one after the other. And also, this in Scrum, there is adaptability. Changes can be supported and integrated into the project currently in progress. So it's great, highly adaptable. And with Scrum, tasks are prioritized by the order of their importance. Usually, the PO, the product owner, helps with prioritizing the tasks and triaging. That's basically called triaging. So they just prioritize the tasks and focus on the ones that are really, really important. So they will be greater or the highest return on investment. And we will also see the demo for the project. Just a minute. So this is how the UI looks like. The first page of the project. You just have to give your name and some email address. You have to accept the TNC, terms and conditions. And this is the about page. Okay, we're here. You can go to contact. We'll just see some contact details. Let's go to the game. We just have to give 2 players. So for now, only 2 players are supported. We'll just play. We'll just start the rolling. I just rolled 2 and I moved 2 places. Now it's Bowen's turn. And they roll 3 and they move 3 places. And when they hit these danger buttons or danger boxes, they will have a penalty. So I'm just going ahead and rolling and showing. So this is the same thing that's happening. We're not running into any danger. Oh, yeah, we got a danger. So since I got 1 and I hit the danger box, my 5 points would be reduced. So that happens. And we just keep continuing. And the one who reaches top first, like the one who reaches this place first, would be declared as a winner. And that's it. So that's the project that we have done. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you. Bye-bye.